For lo, they that are far from thee shall perish, thou hast destroyed all them that go a-whoring from thee. Psalm 73, verse 27. Asaph has just declared God as his portion forever. Now he explains why that declaration matters. The contrast is not between the rich and the poor, or the powerful and the weak. It separates those near God from those distant from him. They that are far from thee shall perish. Distance from God is not a neutral condition. Asaph spent most of this psalm watching the wicked prosper and concluding that distance from God cost nothing. The wicked had no bands in their death. Their strength was firm. Their eyes stood out with fatness. They seemed to pay no price for their rebellion. But Asaph now understands the sanctuary's answer to all of that. Distance from God ends in perishing, and their destruction is real. Thou hast destroyed all them that go a-whoring from thee. The language is precise and deliberate. Going a-whoring from God is the Old Testament's strongest description of spiritual unfaithfulness, the same language the prophets use for Israel's idolatry. It describes a person who belongs to God by covenant, but gives their devotion elsewhere. Asaph harbored an envy that went beyond mere irreligion. They were people who had access to God's covenant and chose other things. Their destruction is not accidental. God acts as the subject of the sentence. He destroys them. Israel's history confirms this pattern. The generation that left Egypt with Moses went a-whoring after the golden calf at Sinai, and God destroyed 3,000 in a single day. And the generation that entered Canaan went a-whoring after Baal, and God handed them to their enemies throughout the book of Judges. The destruction Asaph describes is not a theological abstraction. It has happened before, and it will happen again. But it is good for me to draw near to God. I have put my trust in the Lord God, that I may declare all thy works. Psalm 73, verse 28. Asaph doesn't suggest that drawing near to God is okay or bearable. He says it is good. The word carries the full weight of genuine benefit and is substantial. After cataloguing the wicked's prosperity across the verses and almost losing his faith over it, Asaph arrives at this single declaration. The good he once saw in the table, their healthy children, and their increasing riches, he now locates in nearness to God. This is the psalm's answer to its own opening question. Asaph began by declaring God's goodness to Israel and to those with clean hearts. Then he confessed his feet had almost slipped. The resolution is not that the wicked stopped prospering or that Asaph's circumstances changed. The resolution is that Asaph now knows where the good is. I have put my trust in the Lord God. Asaph uses the full covenant title, Lord God. This trust is not passive. Asaph places his trust there as a man sets down a heavy load. The wicked place their trust in their own strength and prosperity. Asaph places his faith in God who holds him by his hand, that I may declare all thy works. Nearness to God produces testimony. Asaph's purpose in drawing near is not personal comfort or spiritual satisfaction. It generates declaration. He has seen what God does to those who are far from him and what God does for those who draw near. That knowledge demands an audience. The psalm that began with Asaph stumbling ends with him standing near God and opening his mouth to declare what God has done.